Hi. Welcome to the 8th, I think this is the 8th one. Holy shit. The 8th time travel investigation report. You know damn well I'm sending this shit into Congress, and somebody better have some motherfucking answers, alright? So, with that said, I'm your host, Mr. Crazy E 2023, Mr. Eric Carthage 2023. I'm running for something, but I don't know what it is yet. That's my issue. Always thought I was a senator, but whatever. Let's have some fun, shall we? So, let's see. Before I start, please do not take this as 100% real. What I do know is that half of this shit just might be, so I'm watching my back and I'm watching yours. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna make sure this information is, hush hush, so to speak. So, before I talk about the sleeper cells, I am a time traveler from the year 2020. It's my honest belief. Don't believe me. I don't believe myself. I don't care at the end of the day. But from what I remember from that whole trip that we was on, 2020, we went above and beyond changing that shit. So even with a Trump in office, holy shit, Trump is Trump is president right now. At this timeline, yeah. The Donald. Could you imagine? Yeah, we're still alive. Yes. Everybody's safe. So, my whole time travel thing started with, I started playing with time like way before this whole 2020 thing happened. And, if the trip worked out right, we must have time traveled from 2020 to 2007, right before things really got crazy, and we can get away with talking about it for a good while. Oh well. I believe I have time traveling capabilities. Time travel capabilities, alright? Let's see, time bending. What happens there is you can bend a certain amount of time by making it longer or shorter. I'm getting good at it, Time telepathy, this is where you're talking to somebody through telepathy, but you're actually talking to them at the time that they can hear you talking to them, so that's how they can reply. Yeah, I've been playing with that one a lot. Yeah, there's couple people I know, yeah, making friends and shit. The fast forward, that's a go-to. Like I said, this is where you're just ahead of time. You're just naturally ahead of time. You can go further. I try not to do the rewind. Some people like to try to be kind to rewind. You know what I mean? But I don't like to rewind. You know what I mean? It's something with that. I don't know why. It's like it makes you feel like everything goes blank, and whatever happened now, you don't know what's happening now. You're not even in the now, you're in the before. So if you're still in the before and everything is happening now, everything is passing you right the fuck by. So you don't want to always rewind. You do want to be kind. When you feel like you've gone too far ahead, you go back, There's a simulated time travel where you actually picture yourself in that time and you simulate yourself in that particular time frame, and stuff starts coming to you. At the same time, you're actually the simulation, so you're manipulating the simulated time frame that you think you're in. It's complicated. It's simulated. It's pretty much you're imagining yourself in another time, basically. Remote view. You're using your remote view to pretty much look at really chronovision, come to find out. I thought it was remote view. I was sitting there like, alright, I'm remote viewing this shit. No. This chronovision, but it's a form of remote view, where you are basically chronologizing a certain year or time frame to your liking, pretty much. And you are that year. also you're getting ahead of time and you're going back and forth through time. You can find out certain stuff about your past. You name it. This is how you. That's how you do it. Some people do it through meditation. Some people do it through other different means. There's ways to do that shit. And that's also with astral projection. If you can astral project some shit through the spirit, and so in the astral realm is the spirit realm, and then you have your astral self. The astral self is the one that can actually float through space and time and everything. You know, your spiritual self is just going from life and death, like the side of life and the side of death. The astral plane is still a side of life. That's what people forget. So you could go back and forth pretty much. The timed word, that's when you say something and it becomes timeless. Like it just stands the test of time. You know what I mean? Almost like a, like when a prophet says, so let it be written, so let it be done. This must happen. If you time it, and this must happen, or it's going to happen in a time that it's supposed to happen. That's the thing with that. There's certain controls and rules and regulations and everything with this stuff. Time appointment. I know how to appoint a time. Overtime. Let's say you, so to be overtime, you have to always be overtime. Like this, you can't be limited by time. You know what I mean? You have to be like a free-spirited, non-watch carrier. You know what I mean? You barely look at the time. There's ways of doing that. And once you're overtime, you're overtime. And it's like, when you get back into time, you're still like, it's kind of like the the quantum physics thing. You're on time, then you go overtime. So when you go overtime, think about I'll put it like this. An example is when you're at work, you punch in bright and early, and for some reason you punch out bright and late all the time. It's overtime. It's overtime. Let's see. Past altering reads. Oh, that's been an issue of mine because I read a newspaper and I start playing with that shit. So I'll read a newspaper like 2 days in not 2 days in advance, but like 2 days later than what happens, and you see what happens in the world. Then you read that paper 2 days earlier again, and it's like it's slightly different. Sometimes let's be honest. Sometimes the pages are exactly alike. But it'd be like that one or two things that you definitely remember, and then we get to the sleeper cells. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if I was a sleeper cell. I don't know what the fuck I am. I don't know what the fuck I could do. I could be a sleeper cell. I could be a sleeper cell with a microchip. I could be a sleeper cell with a microchip controlled by aliens, controlled by an AI, rocking a chronovisor, trying to fuck your mother. And then teleported back to Mars, baby. So, what happens is, you don't have to take, this is what I think, we don't have to take my word for it, but with sleeper cells, from what I remember, they're like spies. They're like spies that don't know they're spies, and they have certain triggers. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. They implant these wherever they can, depending on what's happening in the world, right? So, what happens is some of these sleeper cells actually get sent to the future. Then they come back because they have like these missions, and they know not to remind them of any of these future occurrences because they know they're gonna run their goddamn mouth or get killed in the process, or reveal some shit that they might paradox something or other. All right, so there's little triggers and stuff. There's music. You have food. These are all things that trigger your time traveling capability. It brings your memories are the key to time travel sometimes. You know what I mean? It's in your mind sometimes. It's all mental. You can, you smell a scent. All of a sudden you feel like you're back in that day or time where you first smelled that scent. Do you ever have like that one song that you remember exactly where you were when you heard it? Those are triggers. Those are triggers. You might actually be another sleeper cell. You might have gotten abducted a couple times. We don't know. But the stuff happens a lot. And there are a lot of triggers. There's a lot of people that numbers are a trigger too, because if you start seeing the same number, people who are into numerology should be very, very good at time traveling naturally. I'm definitely a numerology type of person. I'm not too into them, but when I see certain numbers, I see certain numbers. Certain numbers give me the right energy, some numbers don't. Everybody wants to stay away from 666, obviously, but if you know that's the devil's number, you know what to look out for when you see it. So you might see years popping up. I keep seeing this 2023 year in my head, because after 2020, my mission personally was to find out everything I needed to know about time travel, whether this was an actual thing or not. Because in 2020, we had the time travel, so it was like, if we succeeded in the mission, what's the deal now? Are there people talking about it? Are there people trying it? Is there a possibility that it's a government cover-up? We will never find out, but there will be a disclosure. Somebody's gonna do it. Hopefully it won't have to be me, but I'm definitely on board here. Definitely on board. So, hey, I could run independent. It's fine. I got plenty of ways to do it. But the problem with the triggers are sometimes it causes a negative reaction depending on how they want to control you. So, like you might have had a love interest or something, or something might have happened to you in the past where if something happens to you now, you kind of feel it just like you was in the past, and it bothers you. There's certain things people do to you. They can't touch you a certain way. Anything could be a trigger. And some of these are natural government agents, or I believe in my case it's an independent faction, but it's American now. It's very, very American, very, very pro-American, and they're like, we needed to find that one black dude that was on top of his shit, that we don't really want to assassinate yet. But that's just my opinion. It's an opinion. I don't think I'm very special or nothing, but I've stumbled across all this shit, and I'm loving it. I can't wait to do the next one. The next one, I'm going to try to get in contact with the other guy. I might have to drop another thing about light years, warp speed, that type of thing, and teleportation, that type of thing. So with that said, y'all have a good time, y'all. Let me throw on this Young Astronauts Club, bugging out, y'all. Wild it out. This is officially my theme song now. You know that, right? Officially the theme song. So, thank you for listening to another wonderful time travel investigation. I know where my time is. Know what I'm saying? I still got the notes. Okay, before I end out, they got the 5th. I also believe that I'm from the 5th and 8th dimension. Could you imagine? Yeah. Oh, weird. 5th and 8th. We're in the 3rd, from what I understand. We're in the 3rd. And I just descend back and forth and shit through all those things I just was telling you. Yeah. Some people have machines. They have machines. They have real live machines. It would be funny. Could you imagine time travel? Yo, we got time travel machines. Quarter brick is selling them half off, baby. Half off. If you're American, you get a free one. Let me stop. I'm out. Peace. 2023.